Good morning, everyone. My name's Barbara Kane, and I'm a practitioner with the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm so delighted that you all have joined us this morning for this wonderful Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, for those who celebrate that holiday. And I hope you all had a lovely, peaceful, enjoyable, or fun and exciting, depending on your preference, time with your friends and family. And I love so much that you're here ready to just come together with our congregation. And so I'm going to say a blessing on our meditation work here together this morning, and then we'll silently meditate with music in the background for a few minutes, about 15 minutes, and then I'll say a little prayer bringing us out of meditation. And then, of course, as you know, our regular service begins at 10:45. So I ask you, if you're comfortable, to close your outer eyes. And I recognize that there is one infinite mind. There is one loving, infinite peace, love, joy. I know that each and every one of us is made in the image and likeness and out of this God consciousness. We are, and I am, living light, living love, living divinity, peace, power, abundance, beauty, creativity, kindness, thoughtfulness, inclusiveness. Every quality of God is ours to live, to experience, and to share. And in this blessed moment and moments, I invite you to focus your meditation on this beautiful inclusiveness of the One that brings us all together through its loving spirit. And so now please join me in silent meditation for some moments, thinking just of that love. take a breath, wiggle your fingers and your toes. And I know that wherever your meditation took you, it was the right and perfect place. And that by meditating, we are always deepening our connection with spirit. And sometimes our subconscious releases something from our past, and it just means it's time for it to be released. And sometimes it brings us ideas for the future, and that's wonderful too. It's always perfect, exactly how you experienced it. And so I know in this moment and going forward that our time together and this day is going to be filled with light and love, and so it is. And join us at 10:45 for our regular service today.
Good morning. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living and our Sunday celebration service. We're so very grateful that you've chosen to join us this morning, whether you're here at Sophie's Grill and Bar or you're at home and have invited us into your own home through the technology that is so amazing and so wonderful that we have to use. My name, for those of you who may not know me, is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I am, and have the privilege of being, the senior minister of this amazing community. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, and we believe that there is one power and presence in the universe that is for us and never against us, that is that which is back of everything that there is, seen and unseen. Some of us may call this presence God, others call it something else, but by whatever name we call it, it is benevolent. It is everywhere at all times, and it is a very loving presence in our lives. What we believe is that we were created in its image and likeness, and because of that, since it is creative, we too are creative. We have this ability to create the experiences of our lives through our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs. And in fact, we do so each and every moment of each and every day, whether we are consciously aware of it or whether we are not. And for me, that's the really good news, because if I don't happen to like the experience I'm going through right now, then I can change my response to it. I can change my thoughts around it. I can change my underlying beliefs that will ultimately change the experience. Change your thinking, change your life. And so we come together on Sunday mornings and Wednesday evenings and at other times for social events to support each other on our spiritual path. So we're very grateful that you have chosen to join us. I have one quick little announcement, and this is the first time that we are putting it out there, that we would love to have some people step up and offer to perhaps join us on our leadership council. We have some spaces available, and we would love for someone who really desires to give back to the community in a really powerful and important and significant way. We have currently have one prerequisite, and that is that you have to have taken the foundations class, which is our first introductory course into our teachings. So you have to have taken the foundations class. If you are interested, please, and whether you have questions or you just simply know that you are absolutely interested, please contact me at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. I would love to hear from you. We would love to have you join us. So please send me an email. I would love to thank Barbara Kane, one of our licensed spiritual practitioners, for her beautiful meditation that set the stage or expanded the consciousness that our service will unfold within. And speaking of Barbara Kane, our flower dedication is for Barbara Kane today. And it is from Carol Cross. Carol Cross says, "Of course, Babs, with her dedication to service, is the practitioner for this post-Christmas service that most of us are watching from home in our pajamas, snacking on leftover Christmas treats. I know I am. I thank Babs not just for her ongoing commitment to serving our TCSL community, but for her personal support of our family. For we are watching our home in our pajamas in our new home, which we found due to Bab's professional work as a real estate agent. When I told people that we were buying a house, everyone told me horror stories about how hard this market is, about being prepared to lose offers even $25,000 or more above the asking price, and cutthroat bidding wars. But under Bab's guidance, we didn't experience that. We found our new home on the first day, and we got the contract 4 days later. The entire process was as easy and stress-free as possible. I attribute that largely to Babs's high level of consciousness. She was such a powerful combination of a spiritual commitment to intention and denial of fear-based thinking while still operating as an experienced and excellent level in the very practical material world and arena of real estate. My main point is that Babs isn't just up here talking the talk, but that she walks the walk every day in her TCSL professional and personal life. I'm so grateful to have Babs as my realtor, my TCSL colleague, and most important, my friend. Love, Carol. And so now I'm going to ask the impossible, and that is to invite Babs up, because she is indeed serving today, and she's probably on the tail end of a good cry.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Carol, my verklempt sister. That was really sweet and kind and lovely. And I'm supposed to fix this microphone. Hang on. Okay. For some reason, that reminds me of when I was chasing the dog around the yard and hit my head on the bird feeder and I got my head covered with bird seed. Oh, wait, I can take this off now too. Oh gosh. All right. Our theme for the month of December is the journey of becoming. Reverend Dusty's talk title is The Gift of a New Journey. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And now, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes and center yourself and turn within, open your heart and your mind, and listen to the healing sounds of the crystal bowls as this washes over you. I'd like to welcome everyone back and bring your attention back into the room and into your bodies. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths as represented by this ceremony. Please welcome Karen Daly, who will be assisting me this morning. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you, Karen. And now I ask everyone to turn within one more time. And I speak a blessing on this marvelous moment, this infinite, loving moment in the expression of our lives inside of the loving presence of God. And I know that we are all connected. Our lives are filled with the love from the one Spirit, and this love, this infinite expression of abundance, prosperity, joy, intelligence, is in, as, and through me, and it is in, as, and through each of you. And as such, I speak a blessing this morning, not only on our service, on our congregation, but the volunteers who got here early today, the day after Christmas, to make sure that this could happen for all of us. I speak a blessing on our wonderful Reverend Dusty, who always brings new, wonderful, amazing ideas, and her great depth of consciousness and her infinite love for all of us and for the congregation. To everything she does, I better stop now because I'm going to make myself cry. The speaker, Karen Daly, who I love so much and has taught me so much. She's a blessing to us all, and I know that she is blessed in this moment in her gift. And so I thank God for this opportunity for us to share this time together in this wonderful service. And I know that we are all blessed, and so it is. And the reading for today is, I'm laughing because I always want to just step away after I do that. The reading for today is from Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith. He says, "Remember what yourself has always known about you, and how moment by moment it tenderly escorts you into the luminous and seemingly dark places where, with a courageous heart, you walk the hero's journey, the spiritual warrior's journey, the Christ's journey, the Buddha's journey to awakened awareness." And so it is. And now I would like to introduce the marvelous, wonderful, beautiful, fantastic Karen Daly as she blesses.
Thank you so much, Babs. That was beautiful. You're going to get the whole room crying now, girl. When I was a girl each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest, everything is holy now. And when I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wide. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track. Everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from waters not so small. Even better magic trick. 'Cause anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, finding where there isn't one. When holy water's rare at best, barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath, swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-downs. Now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face. Say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come. Say it's not a sacrament. I'll tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood. I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. Made me wanna bow my head. I remember when church let out. Things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now.
Love that woman. This is wonderful. Thank you so very much, Karen. So the winter solstice, which we just had, has within it an invitation to a new journey. A journey from the darkness into the light. Christmas, which we also just had, the birth of Jesus, has within it an invitation into a new journey. The journey of our awakening to the Christ consciousness within. New Year's Eve has within it an invitation to a new journey. The end of one calendar year and the beginning of a new one, a letting go of the old and a welcoming in of the new. The end of a solar cycle, the end of one calendar year, and even our birthday. Even our birthday is an invitation to a new journey. And each of them brings with them time for a pause. not just in the natural world, but also within us, in our own lives. Now, during this, the darkest part of the year, when the days are the shortest, the earth silently sleeps. Seeds rest in suspended animation, and animals hibernate. During this, the darkest time of the year, with the shortest days, nature asks us to slow down. And not only to slow down, but to actually drink a warm cup of tea. To really be with loved ones, spend time with them, just being with each other, and to listen more than we speak. The energy of winter is that of going within. It is the fruitful darkness and silence out of which new inspiration will eventually emerge. It happens all the time. Think about the tulips coming up, right? This new inspiration will eventually emerge out of the darkness. As we consciously link our awareness to nature's cycles, our understanding of our own growth cycles begins to deepen and to expand. In Latin, solstice is made up of two words, sol, meaning the sun, and sistere, meaning to make stand. Now, winter solstice is one of the most energetically, really, one of the most powerful moments of the year, as the axis of the earth pauses, shifts, and changes direction. So for 3 days around the solstice, we experience the power of the standstill point, the power of the shift of direction. So the earth standing still is really a powerful metaphor for the energy available to us, to each of us, during the winter solstice to change the direction of our lives intentionally, and to really build on this energy as we step into the new year. After the pause is another plunge into a new cycle, or into a new year, or a new beginning, or a new journey. But first, there is the pause. Sitting in the pause is an opportunity to sit in stillness, to sit in the quiet, to give us time for listening and reflecting as that still small voice within us whispers to us. While this time of the year can energetically have great significance for us, the reality is that each and every single moment of every single day can be an opportunity for a new beginning, can be an opportunity for a new journey. So if this is true, which I believe that it is, then how can we set ourselves up for a new journey that we absolutely love to be on? I have 3 ideas for us today. The first is to have a beginner's mind. The beginner's mind is essential. Korean Zen master Shin Shan says that we must keep this don't know mind. The don't know mind. It's an open mind, a clear mind. Now, one of the spiritual practices that we teach and encourage here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is meditation. Now, through meditation, we really learn to take the position of not knowing, or of letting go of the need to know anything, which really opens us up to innocence, opens us up to humility. This practice has many dimensions, and they could be described as letting go of that chattering monkey mind that we have, you know the one that I'm talking about, or of not holding on to particular concepts, like to have our ideas so firmly planted in our minds that we can't accept anything new, or of not needing to know, like, being so controlling and manipulative that we have to know everything all of the time, or of returning to the innocence that we arrived on the planet as, or being a blank slate, a blank slate that allows for the allness of possibility. And these are just some of the examples. Now, in meditation, because we don't have to do anything other than just sit on our cushion or sit on our chair or lie down on the floor and sit still, we can take a very absolute stance on this point of not knowing. We can fully disengage with our thoughts and our minds when we're meditating, but it's not even always easy to do it when we're meditating, but it's even less easy to do in our everyday lives. Our everyday lives that are filled with so much distraction, right? So if we want to express and experience this power of not knowing in our daily life, we need a different approach. And so the suggestion this morning is that different approach is really about giving up the emotional need for certainty. To give up that emotional need, that white-knuckled grip that we have on certainty. We can practice not holding on to knowing or not needing to know, or really even simply being open to what we don't know. And the truth of the matter is that what we don't know is way more than what we know. And actually, what we don't know that we don't know is huge. So if there's so much that we don't even know that could quite possibly open us up to something completely brand new, why do we hold on to what we know so strongly? Instead, when we live our lives from a place of letting go of that certainty, when we live our lives from that space, we are no longer personally or egoically identified with the one who knows. It's okay for us to not know. And this leads us to this kind of humility, right? This open-mindedness and actually curiosity about life. We are humble in the face of life and how big and how complex and how majestic and magnificent and actually mysterious it is. We don't grasp onto overly simple solutions, nor do we hold on to ideas just to feel safe and secure in a changing, constantly changing, and oftentimes insecure world. We are more interested in what we don't know than what we do know. And that's a really wonderful place to be. That curiosity that we had as a child. This is a return to that childlike innocence that we arrived on the planet with. Before we became domesticated, we were a blank slate, a space in which anything and everything was possible. And in order to grow spiritually, the invitation is to return to that blank slate, to return to a space of innocence, to have that beginner's mind about everything and everyone. Craig Hamilton says, paradoxically, this fundamental posture of not knowing, of receptivity and open, innocent interest actually enables us to see everything more clearly, to have better judgment, to find more creative solutions to problems. Our willingness to not know ultimately transforms our knowing and connects us with a profound source of wisdom that informs every aspect of our lives. So the bottom line is that as beginners, facing this clean slate with a beginner's mind, or standing as the innocent beings that we arrived on the planet with, we are in a much greater state of natural allowing, a much greater natural state of allowing that allows anything and everything to possibly happen. The invitation for each of us as we approach this new year is to think about, how are we engaging with life? Are we engaging with life from a fresh, new beginner's mind? the mind that sees everything with awe and wonder and expectancy. The mind that sees and envisions in each and every moment what could possibly happen, rather than standing in the belief of, no, this could never happen, but actually opening ourselves up with this beginner's mind, this mind of not knowing, to the possibility of something that we don't even know about to come into our experience. In his book Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, Shunryu Suzuki says, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few. The second idea is new perspectives. When we really choose to no longer be held down by our past, or by limiting beliefs, or by old paradigms, we actually create the space for new ideas. We actually create the space for new opportunities, for a new way of being in the world. But we have to choose that. The journey to being our highest and best self, to living the life that we really wish to live, is often not a journey of adding something to us, but of actually letting go of something. Race consciousness, or the prevailing idea of society, is that we're often encouraged to obtain more, to get more and more and more, to bring more into our lives, or to attain greater and greater heights, to grow and accumulate things such as degrees, or friends, or houses, or money, or cars, or the list could go on and on and on. All of it has its place. I'm not saying that that isn't good. All of it does have its place. However, the opposite, learning to let go of the past and all of the beliefs, the attitudes, the emotions, the patterns, the things, the friends, and the other baggage that may be holding us back, is actually the key to being on a new journey. Letting go. Our lives will remain forever the same, or a very similar expression to the one that we have always experienced, without letting go of the underlying context that we are creating from. Lao Tzu says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. A new journey will not be a new journey unless we do so. It will look like the same old journey again and again and again. Now, we've talked about this as recently as a couple of months ago, this particular principle that I'm going to talk about now, but I think it's an important one, and I think that it never hurts for us to hear it again. We might be in a different space, or maybe we missed it the last time we talked about it. And also, it just happens to be my very favorite principle ever. So Ernest Holmes says that our past is not bound by precedent, or that the new journey we're stepping into is not bound by our past. That principle is not bound by precedent, which was what I meant to say in the beginning. So we have the power to change our thinking, right? I talked about that from the very beginning when I welcomed everyone today. We have the power to change our thinking and our viewpoint about any situation. It's through our active practice of affirmative prayer that actually moves our consciousness to a place where we can accept new perspectives. And when we can accept new perspectives, then we can demonstrate whatever we seek to experience and to see in form. We can bring those new perspectives into our lives. In Science of Mind, the word principle may be interpreted as first cause. Now, first cause is spirit or source or life or love. Some people call it God, other people call it nature. But by whatever we call it, and we can call it anything we want to, all that really matters is that principle is the cause of everything. It is the cause of everything. It's what makes the stars shine and the planets to spin. It's what pumps our heart and what continues to breathe us. It's always creating from itself an even greater and grander and more glorious good. Always. It's always creating and it's always giving. Is not bound by means nothing is holding it back. Nothing is tying it down. Principle is not going to start to do something and then suddenly stop because it was told by something or someone that it can't do that thing. It's not going to do that. Is not bound means it is not held back by anything for any reason. Precedent can be understood as the habit or patterns that have come before. Think about it in terms of a dress pattern or a paint by numbers pattern or a habit pattern or a belief pattern. When we follow finite precedent patterns, so patterns of being or ways of being in our life that are built on finite ideas or built on finite beliefs or built on the ideas and beliefs that we've always had, then we may bypass and actually never ever experience the infinite possibilities inherent within the divine. We may never experience them. Precedent means it's the way that it's always been. It's how it's always been done. So it's how much money we have in the bank or how much we exercise or how much we weigh or what our relationships are with our family of origin. Precedent is that sense of inertia that comes when something has been a particular way for a particularly long period of time. We think nothing can change because it has always been that way. We may even think that just because that's how it's always been, that there's some kind of universal rule or universal law that says that it has to remain that way. But there isn't. No universal law like that exists. What Ernest Holmes is saying is that principle is not bound by precedent. This literally means that the past means nothing to principle. It means absolutely nothing. Today is a new day, and principle or God or the universe is right there with us in this now moment, and it's waiting. It's just waiting to give to us or to extend to us or to expand us into something more glorious than we have ever been before. Woo! It's just waiting to do that. There's a verse in the Bible that says, it is God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. Now, this verse is saying that principle actually loves to do that kind of thing. It actually loves to do it because life is all about growth and change and expansion. And it is the nature of principle, the nature of God, the nature of the divine to give. Principle is not bound by precedent. Spirit creates from its own essence. It has no past or future. It is always and only and ever in the now moment. The divine is not bound by what it has produced or created before. It is unconditioned. It is the power that only knows itself. Principle doesn't care what we've weighed up until now. It doesn't care how much we've exercised before. It doesn't care how much money we have in the bank. It doesn't care what our relationships are with our family of origin. None of that matters to principle. Anything can change in any given moment, except principle itself. So it will always have that same nature, always giving. Divine is not bound. And since we were created in the image and likeness of the divine, our essence, who we are at our very core, is also not bound. We are not bound by our past beliefs or by our past experiences. A brand new journey is always possible. Relying on the maxim that principle is not bound by precedent, we should not limit our expectations of the future. When we realize that all of the spiritual power that there is, all of it, all of the spiritual power that there is at our disposal, why would we ever hold ourselves back? Why would we ever bind ourselves by our past or by the experiences that we've had before? Our glorious, powerful selves cannot be stopped by anything, including what has gone on before. Regardless of what has been in our personal lives or collectively in the world or on the planet, nothing can prevent us from moving forward unless we let it. We are not bound by precedent. We are not bound by our past beliefs or our past experiences. The bottom line, however, is that we have to be willing to accept a new journey. We have to be willing to accept a new beginning. We have to be willing to accept it into our hearts and into our consciousness. The underlying truth is that everything changes, and yet nothing changes if nothing changes in our hearts and in our minds and in our consciousness. We have to welcome it in. We have to make room at the inn. We have to be willing to let go of the old and to welcome in the new. Welcoming in the new perspectives will welcome in a new journey. This brings me to my third idea, which is the integration of all learning. Now, we can know intellectually who and whose we are. We can know intellectually what it is and the way that it works, as Ernest Holmes would call it. We can know intellectually, as Jesus said, this too you can do, and even better. We can know intellectually all of the principles, like this principle that principle is not bound by precedent. But to apply and integrate this knowledge, noticing the difference in our context for living, in the way that we view the world and our changed behavior, is another thing altogether. We will know that we are ready to step into a new journey when we are less reactive and more consciously intentional. We will know when we are ready for a new journey when we are less triggered and allow ourselves to show up as the face of love in each and every relationship, each and every arena of our lives. We will know that we are ready to step into a new journey when we are willing to let go of the old and to welcome in the new without reservation, without doubt and without fear, or at the very least feeling those feelings and doing it anyway. This coming year is offering us an opportunity to integrate all that we have learned from this teaching, to integrate all that we have learned from this past year. This past year that's been filled at times with chaos and challenge and loss and change and sadness and illness. Integration is revealed when we create new patterns, new ways of operating that are healthy and life-affirming. The time to do so, if we haven't already, is today. To integrate what we have learned. How many heard the talk title today, the gift of a new journey? And immediately thought about the gift that we would receive from a new journey? Or how many people thought about the gift that we bring to a new journey? So in truth, we have already been given the greatest gift that we could ever be given, the gift of life itself. The gift of our deep and abiding relationship with the divine, that which created everything that there is. The gift of being able to consciously use this power and presence to create the experiences of our lives and to perhaps recreate them in a way that we like even better. The gift of being able to create a new journey each and every single day of our lives. If we're coming from the place in which we thought that the gift that was being talked about in the title is a gift that we receive from the new journey, then the only response is gratitude. Being grateful for receiving a gift is pretty easy for us. We do it all the time. That the really exciting news, however, is that gratitude is not only a reactionary emotion, but it is a causative energy. We've all heard the Melody Beattie quote time and time again about gratitude, so I'm not going to repeat the whole thing, but to simply repeat the last line, which is really speaks to this conversation today and this time of the year, this season that we are now in. She says, gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. So because of this, beyond bringing a beginner's mind or new perspectives or our integrated knowledge to this new journey, gratitude then becomes one of the most important gifts that we can bring to the new journey. And I'm so grateful that each moment can be a new beginning, can be a new journey. We don't have to stay stuck in the old. Something new can happen. It could be that in the very next moment, the darkness will give way to the light. The light perhaps at the end of the tunnel. And that light, like it does after the solstice, will just continue to grow and expand. To grow and expand and expand and expand. My intention is for each and every single one of us to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we can begin anew, that we can always begin anew, that there is that within us that knows that we can wake up every morning with a new opportunity to powerfully step into a life that we absolutely love to live, a life that is for our highest and best. Reverend Michael reminded us in the reading that Babs read this morning, remember what yourself, that self with a capital S, has always known about you, and how moment by moment it tenderly escorts you into the luminous and seemingly dark places, right? Notice both. Those things that we like and those things that we don't like, into the luminous and seemingly dark places, seemingly meaning there's no opposite to light. It's just an absence of light. And the light can be brought back into it. So it tenderly escorts you into the luminous and seemingly dark places where, with a courageous heart, you walk the hero's journey, the spiritual warrior's journey, the Christ's journey, the Buddha's journey to awakened awareness. The invitation is to accept and to enjoy and to be grateful for God's gift, the gift of a new journey. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you. So I invite us to turn within, to allow ourselves to turn away from the world of form, closing our outer eyes and turning our inner eyes inward, bringing our attention and intention to the center of our being, to the core of us, to that Christ consciousness, the presence of the divine. It is here that I am acutely aware of the love, the peace, the joy, the creativity, the wisdom, the abundance, the freedom that is present, that is always present within each and every single one of us, for these are the God qualities that we arrived on the planet with. I am also acutely aware of the unbounded opportunities, the limitless possibilities that lie within that spiritual realm. I know that I am one with this presence, that it is that which created me in a moment of unconditional love out of itself, in its image and likeness. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is true for each and every person sitting here at Sophie's today, every person watching us live, every person that will watch us later on in a different time and place, every sentient being on the planet. We are all divine emanations of the divine, ambassadors of its presence, here to bring forward our special gifts in only the way that we can possibly do it. And it is from that place of unity, connected by this golden thread of God stuff that weaves itself throughout all of life, that I speak these words about and for each and every single one of us, individually and collectively, as the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Truly knowing that each and every moment is a new opportunity to begin anew, to begin a new journey. Each and every opportunity is an opportunity to come to that new journey with a beginner's mind, allowing for new perspectives, not hanging on with white knuckles to that which we already know, but making room for that which we don't know, even for room for that which we don't even know that we don't know, because it is so vast, infinite. I know that we can access this new journey by integrating everything that we have learned through this teaching, everything that we have learned over the years. The truth kinds of things with a capital T, the principle kinds of things with a capital P. And so I claim ease and grace for us around letting go of those ideas and beliefs and thoughts and feelings that no longer serve us, that get in the way, that create resistance to this new way of being, knowing that if we don't change the inner, nothing in the outer changes. And so I claim that we have everything we need within us to do that, that the wisdom of God will guide us, make the crooked ways smooth. And I'm so grateful to know this truth, so grateful that we can step powerfully into a new way of living, into a new journey, and that we can be here with each other to support each other as we do so. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes, that my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them into that law, letting go and letting God be God. And I invite everyone to anchor this prayer for themselves, for each other, for the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, and for the entire planet, simply by saying, and so it is, and so it is. Amen. Thank you all so very much. Now is the time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. And this is the time every week when we offer financial support to assist this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love and warmth for ourselves and for the Triangle and for the world. Together we affirm the truth that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. There are several ways you can give. 3 of them are up on our screen. Number 1, visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Number 2, text the word give using the following number, 919-230-8445. Or you could mail your gift. Does anybody do that anymore? You could mail your gift to our new address, PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina, 27519. Please place your hand on your hearts with your gift or just simply with an intention for this community, and let's say our affirmation, offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing God is my source. I give with gratitude, knowing God is my source. And so it is. Thank you all so very much for your gifts. It is now time for us to welcome back the awesome, the amazing, the magnificent Karen Daly.
Thank you, Dusty. I am ready for a new journey. Look out 2022.
Woo!
Welcome. And in the meantime, there's a little Kiss God by Bob Simon. When no one is looking, I swallow deserts and clouds. I chew on the mountains, 'cause I know they are sweet bones.
What a wonderful way to end our song of the year. Thank you. If anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. On the homepage, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We will get that prayer and send it out to all the ministers and practitioners. And if anyone would like to dedicate a flower dedication to anyone for anything, contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. Over the course of December, we have been facilitating special services on Wednesdays. Join us for our 5th special celebration this coming Wednesday. The final celebration will be Kwanzaa on December 29th. Kwanzaa reflects the traditions of harvest festivals celebrated in many African countries, acknowledging the first fruits of the harvest and the rewards of family and friends working together to produce the season's crop. As with any holiday, Kwanzaa traditions vary and continue to evolve with each celebration. Kwanzaa will begin at 7 o'clock on our regular Wednesday evening Zoom channel. Excuse me. Also, save the date for our annual New Year's Eve service on Friday, December 31st. Through music, message, prayer, and meditation, we will celebrate the past, honor the present, and welcome the future. The service will be streamed on YouTube and Facebook Live at 7 o'clock. Links will be set up as it gets closer to the date. And our last announcement for today is for our annual New Year's Day celebration, visioning, and vision board process. The New Year's Day event will be held at the Lodge at Crossroads at 200 Brisbane Woods Way, Cary 27518, and runs from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. If you are unable to join us live, they will also be available on Zoom. If you tune in on Zoom, please remember to have magazines, glue sticks, scissors, and poster board available for your vision board. For those of you that join us live, they will be provided. And now, in the comfort of your home, please stand for our December affirmation. This is a call and response, and say it with meaning and repeat after me. As the year comes to an end, I welcome this new year with a beginner's mind.
As the new year comes to an end, I welcome the new year with a beginner's mind.
I approach it with awe, wonder, expectancy, excitement, and longing for growth.
I approach it with awe, wonder, expectancy, excitement, and longing for growth.
I engage that same energy to my outer experience of life itself.
I engage that same energy to my outer experience of life itself.
In this moment, I choose to no longer be held down by my past.
In this moment, I choose to no longer be held down by my past.
Limiting beliefs and old paradigms no longer have power over me.
Limiting beliefs and old paradigms no longer have power over me.
I'm going to say that one again. I really like that. Limiting beliefs and old paradigms no longer have power over me.
Limiting beliefs and old paradigms no longer have power over me.
Through surrender, I create space for a new way of being in the world.
Through surrender, I create space for a new way of being in the world.
I sit in the stillness of the season, joyfully awaiting the revelation of the divine.
I sit in the stillness of the season, joyfully awaiting the revelation of the divine.
The Spirit within me makes all things new.
The Spirit within me makes all things new.
I rejoice in the journey of becoming,
I rejoice in the journey of becoming.
and so it is.
And so it is.
Man, oh man, that affirmation is powerful. Just take that home with you and say it every day. And join me one more time for the benediction. Please close your eyes. And I know and recognize that this moment is a good God moment, that Spirit has brought us all together for the wonderful purpose of moving us forward on the journey of life that we love, the journey of love that we love to live and share, the journey of becoming newly the true selves that we are, and the journey of expressing God with love and joy and thanksgiving. And so we create ourselves freshly, newly, lovingly, and we share this with all in the light of the love of God. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Babs. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Heather. Thank all of you that have joined us today. Please consider joining us for Kwanzaa on Wednesday and for the New Year's Eve celebration Friday and for the New Year's Day celebration on Saturday. We can together as a community really powerfully celebrate the past, honor the present, and welcome in the new year. And we can do it together in a really amazing and wonderful way. Thank you all for being here today. Have a really wonderful week. I love you.